You're listening to Dude Podcast with JC and Will. Put some pep in that step. Enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm JC.
And I'm Will.
And you're watching.
You're watching Dude.
You're watching Dude.
And, what you're not in Philadelphia.
I'm not. I'm actually here in beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma. So excited to be here.
Yeah, to your health.
To my health. Yes. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. I had a couple things that brought me here.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the Jergens Invitational.
I just seen you mentioned that before we started this. You just kind of threw that in there. I don't know what that means. I said Jergens the lotion?
Yeah, well, yes, it's named after the lotion. So the founder and CEO, Jason Carver, who was a fledged from your bars and a veterinarian, he's crazy. So he has this weird, rare hand condition where he had to sleep in gloves. Did you not know this?
No.
Did you not know?
Always had this? Did he have this when he was in beta?
Yeah, so he would sleep in no joke, sleep in gardening gloves. In college. He would no joke, go to bed and we'd be like, hey Jason, hey man, I don't want to pry, but it looks like you're sleeping in gardening gloves, bro. They'd be like, matter of fact, I am. And he'd have to put Jergens lotion on because he has some sort of weird condition with his hands.
What happens if he doesn't do that?
I think they get really cracked. He has you know what I mean? He's got some sort of medical condition that he has to wear it.
How did they break this to his wife?
I mean, I think
what date? Like date 5?
Listen,
just want to let you know.
I have to give him his kudos because he didn't try to hide it at all. If anything, he was so brazen about it. It was almost concerning. He was just putting them on, and you're just like, dude, is this not weird this is weird for me. Is it weird? Do you not feel weird about this? Yeah. So anyway, it was called the Jergens Invitational, and it gets better too. There's another weird story of Jergens. So it's a golf tournament that occurs once a year. It's out at Roanoke State Park, which is in Watonga, which is
that's Western.
It's Western. What's West Central Western?
Yeah. Which nobody really lives out. Nobody even knows anybody who lives out.
I think what's great. What is crazy about growing up in Oklahoma is so much of Oklahoma, or at least okay, if you know only Oklahoma at a high level,
right?
You pretty much only know a very small portion of the state because it's Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Stillwater. Everything is within about 2 hours of each other,
right?
And then, but the state's huge. It's a really, really big state, and
mostly reservations.
It's there's a lot of reservation land, and there's a lot of just open prairie is what it is. And there's really not. This sounds like I'm being a jerk, but it's there's not a lot of reasons to go out there unless you know somebody really out there.
Right.
So even growing up here in the state, I never went out there, but it's beautiful. It's actually really pretty. So I'm out there, and I don't really golf, but I've gone out there a couple times. It's a lot of fun. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful area. It's it's mountainous. And really, what you do is you just drink entirely too much. At Roanoke State Park, it's cool too because there's no cell phone reception, so you're out there,
right?
But it's really pretty, and I got to drive around the golf cart, see a bunch of old fraternity brothers, and get into a little bit of trouble, have a good time, and then went to me and you went and watched our alma mater, Oklahoma State, beat the Tulsa Hurricane.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a weird thing for me because my dad went to TU, my uncle played at TU. So, a little bittersweet. Not really.
No, because you don't really care about it.
Let's kick their butts. Yeah, I don't, whatever. But it was fun. It was fun to just go there. And plus, TU's stadium that,
it's pretty.
It's a pretty stadium. And it's also one we kind of grew up going to. It's kind of neat to watch Oklahoma State there.
Right.
So, yeah, and then, but I will tell you, so the Jergens, I'm if I seem a little off in the podcast, outside of the fact that it's amazing, we're actually like, this is the first time we're podcasting in a room together. If I see any difference, because I went to bed at like 1 a.m. and I was drinking a lot of pops. You know, obviously that's what you do. You get Place Brothers, you just drink a lot of soda, a lot of Mountain Dew, a lot of Code Red. And I woke up in just great shape at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And then just booked it 3 hours to.
Did you wake up there?
Yeah, I slept there. Did you not know that? I got in the car. Dude, I got in the car. Yeah. Like, it was dark out. And there's nobody on the road. There's no cell phone reception. So I'm like, I think I know where I'm going. Yeah. Like,
how long were you without so how'd you know where to go?
I mean, luckily it's so small. Like, you can't. It's almost like I'd really have to be like, oh, just driving to the abyss.
Right.
Like, I mean, stay on the road. And you're gonna eventually get cell phone service. But like, yeah, it was like a little bit. There was crazy like thunderstorms happening. Like
driving this morning.
Yeah. But like they weren't. It wasn't rain. It was like one of those like crazy Oklahoma phenomena. Like it was a perfect like. So I think I've said this on the podcast before, but like it is so interesting to me that like, in Pennsylvania. I think most other states, when it rains, it doesn't thunder or lightning.
That's interesting to me because Wisconsin was somewhat the same way.
Yeah, but like here, it's guaranteed. Right, like, any sporting event that it rained,
right,
it was going to inevitably be canceled within like 5 to 10 minutes because you were going to see lightning.
Yeah,
that's not how it is in other states. And so it is crazy, like when you're driving and you do see like this weird phenomenon of like, it did not rain, but there was like dry lightning that was just hidden. Like it looked like Stranger Things. Like,
yeah,
it was ominous and there were like weird colored clouds. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm back in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And there's nothing around you for miles. Dude, I saw bison. It was like the most Oklahoma drive. I listened to Carrie Underwood blown away as I was driving. I was like, yeah, this is, I was leaning into it, man.
I'm sure when people hear the name Oklahoma City Thunder, they're like, what a silly name. It's like, there's a reason.
It's pretty dead on. It's actually like, I was thinking that the whole time.
You're right.
Thunder. That's it.
So we went to, like you said, we went to the game.
Yeah.
TU game.
Yeah.
University game. And you wore, and I'll share a picture on our YouTube.
Yeah.
You wore your OSU overalls.
Yeah.
And within maybe 5 minutes of being there, we were walking to the stadium. A man who was about late 50s, early 60s, just said, I'm giving you a beer. just because, like, I was standing there too. He could offer me one too. He goes, I'm just giving you a beer for those overalls. The whole day, everyone's like, where'd you get those overalls? Hey, I need to know where you got those overalls. Like, grown men were stopping you, asking about your fashion.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, they're powerful. Like, I put them on and I feel like a different, like, I've like evolved.
It's crazy. Like, even I noticed people looking at you and pointing and talking to their friends, and I'm like, those are just the people that didn't even stop you. You were stopped maybe almost 10 times.
I got about 10 times, and it was grown. And to your point, it was not children.
No.
It was grown men
Who wanted to know where you
grown men, women, like all demographic. Like, there was old women, young women, like little kids high-fiving. Like, you're like,
yeah.
It's funny because you look like really like in normal life, you look like an idiot.
Yeah. And to describe these to the people who are only listening and can't see it on YouTube, these overalls are OSU orange, like orange as orange can be.
Bright orange.
And then it's got the OSU cowboy logo.
Pistol beats all over it. I always wanted overalls, and I had found a pair, but they were really bad. Like, it was like some website, and they did these striped ones, and they didn't fit right. And they kind of sucked. And she had found these. I cannot find them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the site went under. So I've looked for other people. So I feel like I'm a jerk. I'm like keeping it secret. People go, I need to know where you get that. And I'm like, I don't know. My wife found them. I've tried to find them for people. I cannot find them for people. I'm not trying to but they're also magical. Like, Oklahoma State has never lost a game as I've worn them.
And I mean, to your credit, we won. It's like 40 something.
45 to 10. I mean, it could have been more. Like they relinquished the hounds. You know what I mean? They were like, no, like let's bring the boys back. So yeah, it was it is otherworldly. Like, but then at a football game, you can wear a ridiculous outfit like that, and you just kind of become you're like the cool guy at the party.
You know what's crazy is Jordan Hill, our buddy Jordan Hill, who has been on this podcast before. We talked about you own a pair of overalls, and Jordan Hill and I have talked about we do miss wearing overalls, but as adults we feel weird wearing them. And we said you pull it off.
I also when I worked at bed and breakfast, that was my outfit and bed and breakfast. So I worked at bed and breakfast. It's always my outfit.
Is it because it made you feel like you were a working man?
Two things. It makes me feel like a working man. I have Dickies brown overalls that I wear, and functional. They're actually very functional.
Sure.
Like there's tons of pockets. There's tons of places to like put stuff.
Yeah.
They're perfect. And they're also, you can't like whatever the material is like really tough. Like it's like, sure. It's like I'm sure it's like flame retardant or whatever. Like I was getting nervous when I said that word. Am I allowed to say that word?
Flame retardant? Yeah. I think people know.
I say that.
So yeah, you were getting
high-fiving babies, high-fiving old women, men, young sorority girls, bumping fists. It was awesome.
So yeah, that was one notable thing today. Another notable thing I need to talk about.
No.
I'm going to share a screen recording of this.
Oh no!
So today, JC, I forget why. You pulled out your alarm.
No, so here's what happened. I literally went straight from waking up at 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Feeling just great, pulling into your house, and I think I kicked down the door basically and was like, I have to use your restroom. Like stiff arm your child. I'm like, get out of the way. It's just out of the way. I was so close to while driving trying to pee, but I was like I was in my head like, if I peed my pants, like could we just wash them? I was so close. But yeah, so I went to the bathroom, but then I came out and I saw hopefully like after that I made my apologies and I clearly was forgiven by your wonderful children and wife. And I'm talking to your wife. So my alarm goes off. I'm gonna be the first to tell everybody. I literally I don't treat my phone. I don't treat my phones well. I don't. I really don't.
You lose it all the time.
I lose my phones. I drop them. I just don't. Outside of calls and listening to things on them,
right?
I just don't. I don't care.
It's precious to you.
Not precious. The organizational system or lack thereof that I've created. It's funny because actually in work, I actually have some very, very detailed, unbelievable organizational system. In my phone, right? It is anarchy. It is just it is Mad Max. It is whatever post-apocalyptic plot of a movie you want to depict.
You basically, like, if you look at his phone, there's little red dots all over every app, meaning he has unread messages, on emails, on updates, and like you see the little red dots on your app. It doesn't bother him. For me, it gives me anxiety. I have to fix that red.
This all these things drive my wife insane. By the way, she hates it. My system for alarms is borderline like
it's so
serial killer.
JC took his phone out and he turned the alarm off, and I noticed him as he was talking. He was kind of scrolling, and it was endless amounts of. It was an
oh my god!
You know how like whenever you open someone's alarm thing, they have like 2 or 3 alarms, to where you can toggle it and go, okay, I want to wake up at 6:30, right? Everyone has like 2, 3, 4, maybe I can even understand 10, like alarm at times. JC, I'm not kidding. If you measured out how long that was, I would say it's a good yard, maybe yard and a half.
Will, I've done it because it's in the probably hundreds of alarm. Because if you set alarms, like if you don't erase them, they're just there, and they're just there. The times are there. So I literally have hundreds. Because here's my process. I set a new alarm every time, and sometimes it's like, again, sometimes it's when you just wake up in the morning. Sometimes it's like, oh, I have a goal today. Like I want to do this. So like I never erase the previous
That's insane.
alarm. So I just have like this elephant graveyard of alarms that are in there. And like, so you were just like, oh my God.
I'm going to share this on our Instagram. It's going to have its own post.
People are like going to freak out.
I'm pretty sure one day you're going to go to your cell provider and go, as something to working with my phone, and they're going to say, you've got like 3 gigs worth taken up in your alarm section. I didn't even know that was possible.
Do you think at some point, like something like that, some injustice like that, they just call the police on me? It was like,
you're not allowed to have a phone. People are crying. How dare you have a phone?
They're like 1 minute, they have my phone, and they're just like making a call. They're like looking over, like all of a sudden the police coming in. They're like, that's him. No.
So tonight, when you're about to lay your head on your pillow, and you set an alarm, you're gonna make a new one.
Yes, every day.
I didn't even pay attention to if they're the same one, because that would be insane.
No, there is the same ones. There's plenty of the same ones.
If you're waking up at 6,
yeah,
and yesterday you woke up at 6, you're not going to toggle the 6 that's already on there.
No, because I don't. For some reason in my head, I'm just gotta be like, well, like maybe I want to feel like I'm very also obscure with my time. It's never like sometimes it's not even time. Sometimes it's like.
So you wake up at like 6:32.
Yeah. 6:35. Like I was just kind of like,
what? Why?
Based upon kind of like where I'm at, like from sleep, because I'm not very like even regular.
They're out to the minute.
Sometimes, yeah. I'm just like, oh, okay, like that's more of like an hour, closer to the hour, so I'll do that. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
I think when you die, I'm going to very strongly suggest they send your brain your research.
You're like, we have a study.
Why are we examining it? What is this patient? Well, let me tell you, she had about 3,000 alarm cues in this phone. So I feel like most of us have a joke that we tell all the time that in our heads we think is just hilarious every time.
Yeah.
And no one laughs. Mm-hmm. My version of that is every time somebody says like, ask me, or just say, hey, let's meet there at 5.
Hey, let's meet there at 5
o'clock.
See, you do. I don't even get it. I don't even understand it. I'm like,
I love the fact that I'm verifying that it's a clock. It doesn't. It's not funny at all to most people.
What would it be? What else would it be?
That's the point.
A number? Like I'm just mean a number? Like I just go outside. There's this giant number. And you're like, oh, he was talking about time. He didn't really. I thought he meant this giant number. That's just here.
I love verifying. Like, you mean the clock, right?
That is pretty funny now. I'm thinking about it. I have to tell. I don't want to go into. I just thought, I don't know why I thought it was so funny. So at the Jergens, I won't say who the individual was.
Yeah.
Dear friend of mine.
Yeah.
I've never seen this before in my life. So like play some golf. We go and we get on, golf carts and, mess around on the golf course, whatever you call it, playing golf. You know what? I'm very golf. So we get there and one of the guys, good friend of mine, like I think something happened in the group text where like they're like, hey, blah 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 is not feeling well. Like, okay, whatever. I just saw him. So it's like, lo and behold, he's just driving by himself, like kind of like going back, and we're like, okay, like because we see a golf cart with the one individual on it, and we're like,
oh, he was there on the trip, and
yeah, and this is like we just started. right? So I'm like, oh, it's weird. Maybe he has to go to the bathroom. Maybe he's, you know what I mean? And he's just kind of like, and he's like, looks kind of like, he looks a little like pasty. And I'm like, we're like, dude, are you? Because we're like yelling at him. We're like, oh, you're wimp. You know, we're just yelling at him. I give him a hard time. He's not responding. I'm like, that's kind of weird. But this time he's tried in the golf cart, right? Dude, I'm not exaggerating. I have never seen this in real life. He's driving. All of a sudden, while driving, projectile vomits, like SNL skit projectile vomits. Like, no joke. I have never. It was incredible. Like, not like dribble, like just like huge. And he. Here's the best part. He's still driving. So like it's moving. He's vomiting. It's still moving. And then he keeps going. And we're just like, it's one of those things where like we all look at each other like, did we just see what we thought we saw? Because like, again, he didn't really acknowledge. Like, my thought would be like, if you did that, you would stop it. You would pull over. We'd all come in and check on you.
Right.
No. He keeps moving, but it's kind of like going like a little bit wonky. And we're like, okay, dude, he does it 2 to 3 more times and then just disappears up the edge. Dude, here's the best thing. They weren't drinking. Like they had something, they got like a bug or something. I don't, that was the other weird thing. It wasn't like they had a bunch of drinks. That's the other thing that was such an anomaly. Wow. Like it was not a drink related thing. I think he just had
fine after that?
No, he was a mess. He like laid down. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Crazy though.
So did you see last episode, you talked about how you've been rewatching Seventh Heaven.
Yes.
And you said next episode we're going to watch.
Yeah, together.
Next podcast episode we're going to watch an episode of Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
We told the duties which one.
Yeah.
To watch.
Yeah. It was the episode was called Who Knows. It was season 4, episode 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just watched it.
Together.
You made me watch this.
What's your
Thank you.
What's your initial impression of going back and watching a show that came out? This debuted in, I believe,
96.
Really?
Looked it up. 96.
This came out in 1996.
Yes.
Now, this show or this episode?
Oh, I
think this episode was 1990. This episode came out in 1999.
Okay.
It's debuted 1999.
So I have 2 thoughts about it. Okay.
Yeah.
First things first, I didn't really pay attention to the cast. I remember it from growing up, but nobody ever watched Seventh Heaven except for apparently you.
Well, again, I caught a couple episodes here. Sure. I knew enough to like who some of the people were.
Well, so the first thing I forgot Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
This is kind of like her entrance into the acting world.
Yeah.
I mean, this was her first thing, right?
Yeah.
And that in itself is crazy. That's kind of the thing that...
And she kind of was the only star that came out of this show, right? There was really no one else ended up...
Maybe here and there, but not like her.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That, that's kind of her entrance into entertainment. The second thing is, you're right when you said last episode, it's way too dramatic.
Yeah.
It's really cheesy acting.
Yes.
The things that when the kids get in trouble, it's like, Mom, Dad, I saw someone smoking pot. It's like, But the thing that I love,
there are so many my favorite is just like the reaction. Whoever is the director on the show is like, I need no subtleties here. And like part of me when I watch the acting in this, especially the pastor dad,
right?
Like he is that where like everything's just like, like it's so like it's like so blatant, it's crazy.
It's almost like the old timey Viagra commercials where the lady's like, go to the bedroom, then had dad makes his face like,
it's like time, like they're doing like the watch. They're just like, it's not working. It's so overly done.
So So you are right. The acting is very much like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very dramatic. But what else I noticed about it is the camera work.
The camera work is unbelievable. Like the camera work is funny. Like if you just like watch the camera work, and especially if you like had funky music to it, if you just had weird music to the cut-ins, you would laugh so hard.
There's like it'll zoom in on people's faces while they're like, or like. So the episode we watched is about. There's one part where the kid, he has to do extracurricular activities to get.
By the way, not really the weird explanation. So the first scene, we see one, I think Simon's his name.
Yeah.
It's this younger, this kid is like groomed to be like a JTT character. You can tell, like he's got the cool hair. He's cool. Another thing, like 2 quick also observations, as that's speaking about cut-ins. Like you would think the house would be like a character in this sitcom,
right?
Because there's so many weird shots of the house, just like cutting in and out of the house, right? It's like, why do we care? Also, this guy is supposedly a pastor, dude. That is I don't care.
This is too.
I don't care if it is the 90s. How the heck are you? And it takes place in California, affording a home like that as
with
a
7
pastor,
kids,
with 7 kids, dude. That home, even at that point, is like, that's a $500,000 house at that point. And that was like a $2 million home. It's a home. It's a huge home.
Yeah. I thought that too.
No. But yeah, they do cut into that. So Simon, one of the early things, it's interesting. There's a few different plot points going on that's kind of revolving around the different kids, right?
Correct.
Which is, I think, kind of just one of the main things that kind of made the show work, right? All the kids kind of were at different points in their life, and they have different stories that kind of like correlate, and it gets called 7 because there's 7 children. Although there's 2 twins that like they shouldn't even really count,
right?
Because they're like infants. Also, how old was she when she had these like in her 50s?
I don't think she's in her 50s, but she's up there. Yeah, no, I you know what, I didn't even think about that.
Especially in the 90s. I mean, like again, like now there's technology to help us get there. Like yeah, it's a miracle. That's a very fertile woman.
Very firm.
She has smell semen and she gets attracted.
The pastor. The pastor. The bedroom is calling.
It's incredible.
Yeah, get that pastor. He can't keep it.
Can't keep it in his man. Wow, we gotta talk about him here in a little bit too. He's got that's a whole nother thing. So Simon is going up and he turns in. I don't know if he turned his paperwork.
He turned his paperwork in early because he wanted to help the clans curve the grade.
So he's doing the right thing. He talks to a teacher. Whoever the actress was who plays the teacher, she's in everything, and she's the same. Like she's always a teacher or like a curmudgeon-y like librarian, or she's just this like they're like, okay, we need a haggard woman who just kind of like
I know, yeah,
she is the go-to. Like the person was in. I was like to the point where I know this woman. Why have I seen this woman?
I thought the exact same thing. She's in like every 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, to your point, long way of saying, like, she basically is like, well, I will give you extra curriculum, or I will give you extra credit if you help out with the.
It was basically like
a Christmas mural.
She's like, basically, there's some students who are helping with the mural,
with the holiday mural.
And they're basically painting a wall inside the school.
Also, how cool is Simon, by the way? He's walking up, like, they'll also spend like 45 seconds walking to school. Kids are like, hi, hey, man, cool weekend. And he's just like, thanks, Brunel.
Yeah, dude.
He's got, like, there are handshakes with everybody. And he's like, jocks, nerds, goths.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks Simon's cool.
Everybody. Except we find out.
Yeah, the kids who actually are part of
painting the
mural.
And we quickly find out when he goes up to these kids who are painting the mural, their faces are covered in paint. You don't know why at this point. They're just working hard in this mural. And all of a sudden, something fishy.
Something seems fishy. By the way, like, they didn't go light on that at all. Like, no, they just like whoever was in costume was like, all right, so people huff paint. Like, we're just gonna like, it's like they have so much paint on them. It's like, and they just look crazy. Like, it's like,
what was the threat the kid said to him? It's like, if you tell anybody about this, we'll make your life hell.
Yeah, we'll make your life. And like, also, like, that was the swear word. Like, you knew, like, they were like, the writers were like,
did we get the gravity of the situation?
You think
we say we'll make your life heck?
No, we gotta up it. I'm saying, hell, like, it's gonna be the one swear word we use in the episode. We're gonna say make your life hell, and then they do the cutaway.
It worked, people. When we heard that word, we both were,
ooh. So Simon walks up. These kids they paint all over their face, and also they're loosely alluding to the fact that they're huffing paint the whole time. They're like,
where's the other guys? They had to take a breather.
They didn't take that was cool. They didn't take a breather. I don't know. I'm all up in my head, man.
He's spraying the paint. He goes, why aren't you smelling that? He goes, I don't know. Kind of makes you feel good.
That was the other weird thing. Was he was like testing him. He was like that was like, and then there was a weird point too where like the other boys all leave and it's just him and this one boy.
Yeah.
And the boy like definitely was like trying to initiate him into like the huffing culture.
And then eventually he figures it's like, you're too prude. Or no, he goes, you're too pure.
Yeah.
What kind of bad guy says that?
You're too pure to huff paint. Also, like, can I also say this? What was interesting is like, they allude to it for like a good 2/3 of the episode, but then they don't get into like what huffing paint is until like all of a sudden, like, you know, a can gets whipped out.
Right.
Because at the first time, I guess they're just getting high up the fuel. Right. It's just not, any kind of paint's not good for you.
Right.
Like, we should all like,
right.
And also, there's no supervision at all going on, and there's like these kids are like 8th grade, and they're just like going down. I didn't even think about this. Like, the most supervision that happens is there's that one janitor, like, just gives him like head nod. He like head nods at him, and like he's like, all right, well, a bunch of kids just hating after class, and they're also like just in the middle of the like, it's not even hidden away; it's in the middle of the hallway, and they're just put their head in a bag. So that is the main. There's a couple other storylines that we might get into, but yeah, it's hysterical that is, and also like, do you remember? And again, I know that we're all at different places in the world and socioeconomic places, whatever. But like, was huffing a big problem? Do you remember huffing being? Was that something that like we were being like, oh, this is an epidemic? Was that a problem?
I only know one person who did that. I remember thinking, and that and gasoline. Not me.
Yeah.
Obviously. But
obviously.
You want to know why?
I mean, look at the brain that this man.
You want to know why? Because I'm pure.
No, you're right. You are. That's what I thought. I was like, you know what? He's too pure. He's too pure. He's too pure. He wouldn't even want to off this thing.
But
smell his
I can't imagine. I just don't understand. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I looked at it like I have so few brain cells as it is. Like, I only got a couple of them like even bouncing around in there. The idea of just like zapping more, it's like,
you know what was like some people did in their high school, and I think they were just too dumb to understand that it was bad for you. Was the error?
Oh, whippets.
Yeah.
Oh, those. Yeah.
So like when you clean your like key comes off with.
That's also, I would also say that, like, again, not good for you, but if you're gonna like go one way, like much less work, like much cleaner than huffing. Like huffing paint is like, you're really going down a dark. Yeah, you're also going down like, it's, dude, again, like, it wasn't that hard. Like, that's the other funny thing. Okay, what happens ultimately, one of the kids, like, it finally becomes blatant that they're huffing paint. Like, after they do a very long time of alluding to the fact that this is what it is, one of the kids huffs paint, and then instantly, we have just a massive amount of blood. Again, no nose bleeds like this. Where it was like it felt like just tons of blood.
Yeah.
And then he again, the veil threat of, you don't tell anybody about this.
Because what did he say? He goes, it happens all the time. Don't
tell anybody. Well, then, what do you think happens?
Simon pulls up to school in the van.
Well, pastor's driving. Pastor dad, this dad is the nosiest dad. This dad is involved in everybody's business.
Choo-choo and alarming is.
Like, yeah, like, it also makes you really, like, if anything, it puts a lot less faith in the church for me. So I'm like, this man is actually like he's like finagling things, and like his involvement, and he's influencing things he really has no business of influencing.
Yeah.
He's involved in all aspects of children's lives.
Too much. And yet he's still pastoring on like apparently a $500,000 salary.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing whatever he's doing.
He's invested very well.
Who's the guy in Houston who has the
Joel Osteen?
Yeah, he's doing some Joel Osteen things, evidently, because he's doing very well. Although
he invested in communion wafer stocks.
Yes. Although they make it very clear, despite the incredible house, that they only have one minivan that is used throughout.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, we just see that minivan all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And dad's driving around, and dad is. So anyway, they pull up to this teacher that we all know from something. We're like, we've seen this woman before, and she's like, yeah, it's the kid we also just saw 2 minutes ago, because we're such a dumb audience that like we're like, oh, that's the kid with blood coming out of his head. Turns out he's in a hospital now.
The teacher comes up and goes, did you hear what happened to little Billy or whatever?
Yeah.
She's like, he's in the hospital. Like, how's he doing? I don't know.
And Simon, do you know what's going on? Do you have any idea what's happened?
She immediately goes to Simon, do you know what happened, Simon?
And Simon has a really bad poker face, and he's like, and he's looking, and the dad is like, Simon, we're gonna take a drive.
But I love that but the best part about that scene is Simon goes, and he kind of looks, and coincidentally, as we all know,
oh yeah, that's right. That is the best part.
The gang of huff painters are looking at him.
Yeah, they're in the scene in the back, going like, they're doing like if you say anything, we're gonna make your life hell, Simon. So they're there. All of it is just, and this pastor, he again, great pastor. His intuition, his pastorly intuition is going off, and he's like, Simon, we're gonna take a drive.
He knew something was up. And so I love when they go to the hospital, Simon eventually says, something's happening with the paint crew. What do you mean? Well, something with the fumes. And the pastor looks at him and goes, are you talking about huffing?
then he goes through every single issue. Like, the best is he actually goes through like all the medical issues that are aligned to, I mean, like very detailed, like it can actually cause kidney failure and and
could damage your
liver, and like he goes into all this detail, and you're like, and again, it's such an obscure thing to be addicted to. And also, here's the other hilarious thing. So at one point they go to the hospital, which again, this guy Simon's not even close to the dude who got in trouble running the hospital. So it's kind of weird that they were like, let's go visit the person that you barely know. Right. So they go and visit him, and the mom of the person who's in the hospital comes out, shots fired, and just accuses Simon of being the one to influence his. Here's the hilarious thing, is these kids, if we saw anything in the first scene, they just had paint all over their face. Like, how would you not be like, I think my kid may have a problem sniffing the paint. Like they're like covered in paint. Like and the mom was like, it wasn't until you joined that this was an issue.
Man.
And that was also a weird thing that never got resolved. Was they were like, it was paint cans from your house that had your name, like, and it was like that never got resolved. You know, like
No.
they throw in some detail that clearly like never got vetted out by the writers, where it was like, we'll make the paint from his house. How did they get the paint? They never explained how that happened. Did these kids steal his paint?
At the end of the episode, did they ever even resolve the issue at all?
No. Like, that may have been something. Now that also, we only watched one episode, so maybe that was a to be continued that we didn't know, but it felt like there was a lot of unanswered things.
It's like, is he going to be in trouble? Or, yeah, no, they never resolved.
No, they really didn't. But no, it was hilarious. And then just a couple other quick things on it. Pastor Dad meddling in every aspect. Jessica Biel. Let's get back to Jessica Biel. So Jessica Biel, again, we only watched this one episode again. Even though I've watched a few episodes of Seventh Heaven, I'm not going to pretend like I actually know like the details of the series and what's all going on at any given time. Rush out, right? But one of the storylines is Jessica Biel's character. She had been in jail for some reason. She don't know why. We don't, because again, we don't know why. We didn't watch the previous episodes. But so she's on thin ice with mom and dad.
That's putting it lightly.
Like putting it. Oh, and there's all these just like, but like, listen, she loves her some Matt. She loves her. She
picks after her mom, who smells a window.
just immediately gets. Which actually, if you think about it, that's probably the reason they're so concerned about her going out. It's like, if she's anything like mom, that uterus is like mom, she's gonna get pregnant just like that. We don't need that. Although we have a huge house that can evidently comfortably sleep everyone.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, the best though was she has a crush. She has to do some community service work for a jail thing that we don't really understand. But there's a boy there that she falls for. There's two things that are really, really funny to me that stand out. First, there's a montage. They're like picking up trash.
Yeah,
and they decide to like, oh, this show is full of like just terrible music aligned with
like saxophone,
like a lot of saxophones, a ton of saxophones in like certain cuts, or like just like weird music that you would now find on like if you were editing your own like student film and it was like the Apple like terrible music beats, that just feel very hokey that they insert. But there's a montage that they clearly shot. Like normally when you're shooting a montage, you're like, okay, like we're gonna have like an outfit change. We're gonna have like they're gonna be in like a different area for this, so like we can show like a progression of time of some sort. Not in this. There was literally like it was very clear. They were like, okay, we have like an hour to do the shot. We're just gonna like you're gonna be in the same outfit. You're really gonna be doing basically the same thing. And we're going to make a whole, like a 2-minute montage of it, but you're to like show that time is passing and that you like each other. You're growing each other. Like, it's very clear that like they're at the same location. They're wearing the same outfits the entire time. And like, they just have really bad ideas on what this it's like.
He's putting, the guy is putting leaves in a bag and he just puts the bag down, runs over to the girl and starts throwing leaves at her.
Yeah, and then she like throws leaves. Jessica throws like leaves on herself too, which is a strange move.
Put leaves on me.
Well, that was love. That was love in the 90s, you know?
She must have thought it was a mating call.
I suppose.
But there's another part where the camera works.
The camera work is a thing.
He is panning through leaves like a creeper, and you see his face just go through the hole in the leaves. He just
and then his like face goes back,
just staring at each other. It's
it really feels like on the level of like when you had to do like senior photos and you had like, all right, like Will, I'm taking your pictures. You're literally here, and we have like 10 minutes. Just go over there. and then you go over there, and then you go over there, and here's the picture.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like for, again, at the time, probably one of the biggest like teen shows of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Which is hysterical.
It's crazy.
Other thing though was like the dad picks up on this. So the dad drops off Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. This dad is in the minivan, also like a good fourth of the episode, just driving people around. And he's always just giving these, again, overacting like, look.
He pulls up in the minivan.
So he pulls up, he drops her off, he kind of gives a look.
He knows something.
He knows something's up. But then, literally 30 seconds later, there's a cut of him pulling back. For like, there's no explanation for why he pulling back from it of what's happening. And then he makes, if you weren't already like worried or thought that he didn't approve, we wanted to make it as clear as possible. And he's just, oh,
You're
like,
tell them. They weren't doing anything.
no, they really weren't. Again, if anything, like she was being like it wasn't that bad.
She was literally just not even in front of a group of people. It's not like it'd be different if they like were hiding behind the bushes making it.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're really just being completely like she really, if anything, is like handling herself really well. Like, but that's not okay for mom. Mom, dad. Let's talk about the mom real quick.
The mom is, as you pointed out, she has no real purpose. She just seems to just be she always looks like she's on the verge of an emotional break.
She does. She does a lot of, it's a lot of concerned face. If you can't see what I'm doing, you can see a lot of concerned face. She really just like, I'm trying to think of if dad is Michael Jordan on the show, as far as like how much time, she's not Scottie Pippen. No, she's more Kerr. Like, you know, like maybe she hits a 3. Like when you go back and look at the stats, you're like, well, what did Steve Kerr do on that Bulls team? That's those championship teams. You're like, well, he did score 5 points. Like she contributes.
That's true.
But she doesn't really do. Like she doesn't offer a whole lot other than like some faces. I'm sorry, basically agreeing with anything dad has to say, and she may have like kind of like a playful comment every once in a while. But she does seem like she's on the verge of a nervous breakdown continually. And again, she's unbelievably firm with,
I mean, maybe that is her point. Maybe that's just, you know,
what is the difference between the ages? We have the oldest, that guy's got to be what, in near 20s in the show?
that is interesting. He's in college in this episode.
Well, I don't even, is he in college or is he just working at the hospital?
That's true. Yeah, we don't know. But
We don't know.
He's of college age.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have babies, like younger than our kids. Like they seem like they're like 1 year old.
Yeah, it's incredible. And all those babies do in any of the things, they just eat. It's kind of like early like Full House, where they just like would do shots of like the twins, just like they do like one shot, they get a laugh, and then they would cut to the actually progress. It was the same, really very, very similar to Full House in that way with the babies, the usage of the babies. Also, I think we mentioned this before, turns out pastor, who again, really actually, if I will say anything, like does play the pastoral role like exceptionally. The casting, how he plays it, the overacting is definitely something. But like he does strike me like, of anybody in the show, you're like, okay, that guy does seem like he could be a pastor.
Yeah, he does.
Well, we mentioned it before. Turns out,
Sexual misconduct.
she is a actual pedophile, like a real pedophile who I think had multiple misdemeanors with underage girls in like it was pre-7 Heaven, I believe.
Okay.
I believe, but bad. Like he's a bad guy.
And I did that really quick Google.
Yeah,
he's out in the middle of nowhere, Iowa.
Yeah, he has put himself away from society because he is very much aware that his career is done and that people hate him, as they should.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he portrayed a pastor and a person who was a good guy. Turns out, pedophile. Just a pedo. Just a bad guy.
It's a wild show.
It is a wild show. And it's one that you go back and you do feel like you can kind of taste that, like, oh my God, like this was, and it doesn't it like growing up, like going to Metro, doesn't it kind of feel like that was a time period a little bit?
It feels like the show was created for like the sensible Midwesterner who really needed the soap opera.
I would agree. Yeah. It's no, you're absolutely, you're dead on, because it's like, it gets, there's enough there, but it's like, okay, we're going to keep going back to like, you know, morals. We're going to keep like, we're not going to cuss. We're not going to show too much. Like, we're going to have these concepts, but like, we're going to be like very very judgmental. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, we're going to be like super judgmental on them.
It's a crazy show.
I can't.
Yeah.
That's so.
But you know what though? Weirdly enough, as I was watching it, was like I can kind of see how, like, as bad as it is, how you get sucked into it.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I kind of understand.
Also, another thing, other than the children all being white, didn't look like at all.
No, I noticed this.
Couldn't be siblings. Like, in no world are you like, these could be siblings. Like, we have super blonde kid. We got super curly hair. We got these blonde twins.
None of them.
Like, there's no, like, whoever was the casting director was just like, oh, okay, white people. That's all we need. Just white people. We can say they're a family. I don't really care if they even look remotely close. But yeah, I would want to see the ages of the, cause I mean, you are looking at a good 20 years, which I have known there were a couple families I didn't know that had that.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
If you grew up like that.
I think Gordon Ramsay's one of them. What? The age gap in his children.
Wait, so he has children with those? Well, he was a child of that.
So he has kids who are like of college age, and he just had a baby like 2 years ago.
With the same wife?
Yeah. Wow.
How do you know? Why do you know?
My wife is a big Gordon Ramsay fan. She's like, oh, Gordon Ramsay's pregnant again.
Wait. What? Why did I not know this about Jordan? She's a big Gordon Ramsay. Are people big Gordon Ramsay fans?
Yeah. Gordon Ramsay, the chef?
Yes. Gordon Ramsay, the chef.
Yes. So he has one daughter that's 24, and another daughter is 22. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a son that's like in his teens, and then he has a baby that was born in 2023 with the same rights.
Wow, that's impressive. Well, so as a big Gordon Ramsay fan, does she watch the show with like, where, you know, there's a show that, like, I'm pretty positive, I'm not gonna pretend I'm a big Gordon Ramsay, but I think I do know the concept of the show, where like there's a kitchen that like gets elevated and like drops down, and there's like different levels that you have to cook on, which is insane.
Gordon Ramsay has every kind of level of show under the sun, because he does have shows that's like, you got 20 seconds or you're fired. You're never going to cook again. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then he's got another one where he's in his kitchen. He's like, this is how you make scrambled eggs. Jordan likes the latter.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha.
She loves watching him cook. She likes all kinds of cooking shows.
Have you ever watched Bar Rescue?
What?
Bar Rescue?
No.
With John Taffer?
No.
We may have to review John Taffer.
Is it good?
It's very Gordon Ramsay, but it's with this gentleman. John Taffer is like this like old school Italian, like Northeastern guy who like owned bars and restaurants. And what he does is he watches, like, they do like footage on like these bars that are in terrible condition. And he watches it until it's the same concept every time. He watches it until he can't take it anymore. And then he goes, that's it. I'm shutting them down. And he goes, shut it down. Shut it down. He does it every time. And he like kicks the door. Like John Claus didn't kick the door. And these poor people are like turning around. And he's like, I've been watching this. Shut it down. And then he just, Will, we may have to review an episode because he'll just like scream at these people And these are like the most like incompetent people ever. And they have to like turn their bar around. But like,
I need to watch it.
him interacting with the people, it's
great.
Incredible. It's amazing.
So we hope you guys watched it all. And if you did, let us know what your thoughts were.
Season 4, episode 10. Episode 10. Who knows? Watch it.
It's pretty good.
It is unreal. The nostalgia. You'll enjoy it. You'll laugh out loud.
When you told me we were going to watch it, I was like, it's going to be bored. And it's terrible. It's not. It's a stupid show.
It is a stupid show.
But when you watch it, you're kind of entranced. You're kind of like, I can't stop watching.
And I think it's almost better in some ways when you watch it and then you think about what you watched, like in parts, because then you're like, what it was like. You almost like buy into the trash they're giving you, where you're like, yeah, and then you're like, wait, what? Like that doesn't make any sense at all. There's so many holes in it. Like
I found myself defending the kids a lot. I was like, wait a second, she didn't do anything wrong. Or like, hey, your boyfriend's a good dude.
Yeah.
Like why do I care?
I want them to be together.
Jessica Biel deserves to be happy.
It was a lot of like tough love. I feel like we will revisit more, because there are other clips and things where it's like, I just think the writers just like, they realized they had this hit on their hands, and they did, and they're like, I really think they almost were like, let's just like make games, and like also the world they live in is such a like, everyone's white, everyone's very affluent,
except for the teacher.
The teacher. But like, it is a very like high class.
God. Dude, this show went for 11 years.
There again, so
oh my God.
So watch it with us, please, or start watching episodes. We're gonna do a few more of these. We'll give you a heads up before we do them. But yeah, go back and watch it, because it is hysterical. There's more episodes that we will review. Like the pod, share the pod.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to promote the pod.
Yeah. We visit the website,
if you want to sponsor the pod, give us a call. Please.
You can use the sponsor.
We really could use the sponsor.
You know what? So many people have been buying merch.
Oh my gosh, so much merch. He's running out
of those people to buy some merch, like the other hundreds of people buying merch.
I mean, he can barely keep in stock, but
and I want to make it clear, if you think these prices are a little steep, that's because we run it through Amazon. We're not running a shirt factory here. We run this through an Amazon thing. So,
but blame Jeff Bezos. Get mad at him and his yacht and his weird-looking girlfriend wife.
Yeah, blame little Jeffy B.
Yeah, little Jeffy B. To be called Big Uncle Jeffy B.
It's like a really bad after-school special program. Welcome to Jeffy B's Playhouse.
It's Jeffy B.
I'm Jeffy B, and this is my pal dog Barky.
Uncle Jeffy B.
Uncle Jeffy B.
Anyway, so Uncle Jeffy B is the one who helps produce shirts, and that's why they're maybe a little bit pricier, but
hopefully, if we can get some real quality shirts and cut the prices down.
Yeah.
Until then,
you have to go through Uncle Jeffy B.
You got to come through Uncle Jeffy B.
So yeah, like, subscribe, share, save,
watch our
repos, the TikTok.
The biggest thing is we like when people interact with us. We like when people write in, give suggestions. So do that. It just fills our little dude hearts up.
Right. We love you, duties. This was a treat to be able to be with my buddy in real life, and we will talk to you next week.
High five.